Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Friday, the 2nd of April already. We're talking day 2 of MLB. As we kind of discussed yesterday, we're going to do a few of these members-only videos, like for the public early on in the baseball season. Just kind of tell you guys what it's all about, what we're going to go through, what we want to talk about, and stuff like that. And then, it's kind of like the DirecTV package. You get all the baseball games for the first week, and then after that, not so much anymore. And then you got to pay for it.
Yeah, for sure. It is just like that. And, man, excited to get back into the baseball grind with you, and that's exactly what it is. Pretty much every day, once baseball starts, there's going to be like a main slate. It's not like NBA where you'll have a couple days with like one or two games. I mean, there will be games every single day.
Yes, there will. So hopefully everybody had a good day one. If you had a great day one, don't get overconfident. If you had a terrible day one, don't get down on your luck. Or if you're like me and broke exactly even, let's get back at it today and maybe it can be more exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely breaking even is better than having a bad day. So I would have taken that. As I was telling you, like finally feel like I'm getting in a nice groove for NBA right when I'm really not trying to play NBA anymore. So you know how that goes.
For sure. So I had a friend of mine, a lady friend of mine, come over yesterday and it got busy making fajitas and stuff like that. And
what they
took my – what's that?
They call it making fajitas these days?
Took my mind off of sports for like an hour, and all of a sudden the Brewers make an epic comeback.
Yep.
My main lineup in baseball, like all these guys that weren't doing anything, did something late. And I'm like, well, damn, I should just take my eyes off of the sports world a little bit more often. Good things happen when you don't pay attention.
That's the best. That's a great feeling for sure.
All right, guys. So we're going to kind of run through this entire 6-game slate for you, what our thoughts are on it. Before we get into it, though, I just wanted to reiterate to everybody, the DFS 5-pack website is below. We have added weekly memberships and monthly memberships are up there as well. We have yearly and lifetime to go with it. It's a little bit different now, but I did a lot of work on this the last couple of days with our web provider, Landon. I appreciate his help on this one. So it's more of an automated sign-up process. Love to have you guys come join weekly, monthly, lifetime, yearly. You guys get all the sports. So right now it'd be doubling up on baseball and basketball. So that is there for you guys to take a look at if you are so interested, because the members-only videos will be for paying customers, pretty much all season and coming up here pretty quick as well. And another way to get a free 5-pack membership is we are partnering with the good people over at jazzsports.ag. And for those of you guys who do sports betting and want to try a new place to do that, join over here. Use the promo code 5-pack. Really easy to do. And if you make an initial deposit, send me just a screenshot. You can even just tell me what your email is, and I'll verify with them that you signed up and made an initial deposit. And we will get you a free 5-pack membership to go along with it. Length of the membership will, based on the size of the deposit. You make a $1,000 deposit, I'll just give you a free lifetime membership if you want it. If it's only like $50, we'll get you like a free month.
For sure.
So that's up there, guys. So as far as pitching goes today, looking like Blake Snell is going to be the top-owned pitcher on the slate. What are your thoughts on him?
That makes sense. I mean, he's really good. I'm sure his workload is going to be – he's going to be more attractive from a DFS perspective now that he's not in Tampa, in my mind. So that makes sense. I don't look at him as like some lock. However, the best pitcher on the slate is in Coors. I do think Bauer's in play here, though.
For sure. He's still going to get some love, too. You're not going to get him, like, small because the other pitching options are not great.
Agreed. The thing about Bauer, it's like, Coors obviously, play – you never want to choose a pitcher in Coors, all things being equal. But he is the best pitcher on the slate. He's got the highest strikeout upside. And it's hard for the Coors ballpark to have an effect if they don't hit the ball. So
absolutely.
I'm definitely looking at Bauer, but Snell makes sense. What's your thoughts on Snell?
Well, I don't have like a sleeper stack today that I really am vibing on as of right now. So I do make my decisions on baseball about how I want to play kind of based on like when you have like the Dodgers in Coors Field. Do you like the chalk today? Well, I don't love anything contrarian, so I might go a little bit more chalk heavy today. Play a cash game, still do my 3-entry max in the GPP side of things, but maybe ride the chalk in my main lineup. I don't know, and then hopefully come up with something a little bit different, come up with some variations. So I'll probably play Blake Snell in my main lineup, but I will have a GPP of it where I use a Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, I get that, and I'm kind of with you. There aren't really secondary pitching options that stand out. Mm-mm. like secondary stacks that stand out really. A pitcher I'm definitely looking at is Pablo Lopez.
Yeah, he's coming in as one of the other higher owned pitchers on the day. And I get it. Like, I don't love any of the other pitchers. So his price tag at 7K. Tampa Bay, if you guys remember, very strikeout heavy team last year. So there can be some upside on that one. He's a decent young pitcher, nice ballpark. The chalk build for pitchers at this point in the morning is Snell, Lopez. And quite frankly, I don't love anybody else. So in cash games, that's probably where I'll go.
It makes a lot of sense for sure.
Like, I don't know, like, who else can you really, really get excited about today? Like, I love Dallas Keuchel as like a real life pitcher, but quite frankly, he lacks, big strikeout upside. Just look at like him down the stretch last year. His big strikeout game was 7. It's really difficult to want to pay for him at this price tag.
No chance I'm using him here.
Now, if you're looking for a good real life performance, he's right up there, but not from DFS.
It'll be a rare day I use Dallas Keuchel at that price point.
Yeah, and the Angels offense, I mean, they're no slouch to begin with, right? Either you're not exactly going up against a scrub or anything like that, so he's not for me either. What about not my bro, but your bro?
I think he's in play. I don't mentioned it yesterday. I don't like. It's not that I don't want to, I won't use pitchers against Miami. It's that I'm not like going out of my way to like just pick on Miami with expensive pitchers, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like a spot where I have to use guys against them. That being said, I think Yarborough's definitely in play here on a slate without a lot of good pitching options. We saw pitchers duel in this game yesterday. I mean, if I had to make a bet on whether it'd be a pitcher's duel or like a hitter's game, I would say a pitcher's duel again.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. No arguments here. How about your boy Luzardo before that or after that?
Interested to see what Luzardo is coming with this year, but don't think this is the spot to use him. Would rather see it. That said, he's probably got higher upside than Yarborough.
That's fair. I agree with that. I probably won't go there either, but I can understand why somebody would play him. I don't think it's the craziest play in the world. After that, you got Andrew Heaney, which is a little bit of a DFS darling. He always gets a little bit more love than he probably deserves. Now, he has decent strikeout stuff. I don't personally want to go after the White Sox offense, especially with a lefty, knowing you got Anderson and Abreu in that lineup that absolutely rake against lefties. I don't think it's the worst play in the world. I just don't think, like, at most, he'll get one GPP spot from me, at most.
I wonder how much love he gets. I'm not interested in him here, really. That said, like, he's probably got higher upside than Luzardo, who has higher upside than Yarborough because of his strikeout upside.
Yeah, and Tampa always has like a short leash on their pitchers too, which is the problem with pitching their guys. Like, if Yarborough throws 100 pitches today, I will be flabbergasted.
Agreed.
How about your old school favorite player, Johnny Cueto?
Definitely thinking about him a little bit, man. I'm a huge Cueto fan. I don't know. Like, Cueto is another one of these guys. Like, there'll be years where like he's in the Cy Young race, like till the end. And then there's other years where like he's a gas can. I don't know what to expect from him.
Definitely feels like those years he's in the Cy Young race are ways in the past.
Those are way over. I'll give you that.
So we talked about Seattle in the night slate last night and how we thought it was kind of a contrarian build. They ended up getting some runs late, but not major DFS points or anything like that. I can see picking on them. I struggle to use a Johnny Cueto today. Not saying that he couldn't be decent at low ownership, but I can't imagine I get there.
Makes sense. I mean, I'm not like going out of my way for him or anything like that.
All right, we already talked about Pablo Lopez. I guess if I was trying to get a little different with things, I would consider Meryl Kelly. Now, I know San Diego's it's a good place to hit, being that it's nicer weather and stuff, although it is later in the day, so it's not as helpful. Meryl Kelly had a couple of nice starts against San Diego last year. They're actually right there in the mid part of August. He is capable of having nice starts. He's got decent strikeout stuff, not great. I think if I was trying to get a little different with things, he might get one guest appearance from me because even though San Diego's really good, they're not going to be really good every day.
I got no arguments with it. I feel similar about Kelly as I do Kikuchi.
Okay. Understandable. Kikuchi's somebody who we've seen have nice starts and also be a complete gas can for periods of the time. He did close relatively strong last year with a couple decent starts in there. A couple of bad ones to go with it, which is a little bit about who he is. But San Francisco's offense is not world beaters.
No, and you're right. Not exactly sure what you get from Kikuchi anytime out. Sometimes he's really good, sometimes he's not. And that's an issue here, and that's why he's like not a cash game lock or anything. I think he's better than a 6K pitcher. Last year, he was a lot better than 2 years ago, which was most of the time when he was like, we were using hitters against him, etc. I just think he's better than 6K. I don't need to go after the Giants. Like, I don't think they're an offense that like is very good, but I don't think they're like the worst offense in the world either. But I think he's just too cheap.
Yeah, they kind of went into the time machine last night with Buster Posey and Evan Longoria both homering, right?
Yeah, and like they do, I think their offense is probably better now than it has been with like if these guys can stay healthy, like Dickerson and Yastrzemski, two guys that are better than guys they've had in years past.
Yeah, Yaz is a good hitter.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe he's got something they call pedigree.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, and then Javier. I don't really try to go after Oakland in their home ballpark. So he had some starts and some spots where he pitched at the end of last season where I was encouraged by what he had. I still don't think I'm going to end up here, but I did like some of the things I saw from him towards the tail end of last year.
I agree all the way around.
So, all right, just trying to narrow this down. Obviously, we're not going to use Sensatella against the Dodgers in Coors Field, but I think it is worth noting that the Dodgers are going to be the chalk build in Coors. Surprise, surprise right there. That Sensatella was like good last year, and he's a young guy, and he had a really, really nice season. So I will use the Dodgers probably pretty heavy in a cash lineup build. I can understand why you don't want to just jump in with 2 feet necessarily if you want to try to be a little different in GPPs, because he was not a gas can last year at all. In 12 starts, he was good.
He was pretty good last year. I'm pretty sure he was a gas can the year before, right?
Yeah. But his 22 and 23-year-old seasons, first and second year, he was solid. I mean, those are decent numbers for a Coors Field pitcher.
Yeah, for sure. That said, it's hard not to look at the Dodgers here for the reason they're in Coors against, still one of the weaker pitchers on the slate because there are no gas cans on the slate. Number two, like, there just aren't really any other offenses that like jump out at all.
Not at all.
I mean, yeah, like not at all.
And that's why I kind of make my MLB decisions on the day based on things like this. And I don't love any of the other offenses either. So even though I think there are reasons you could try to avoid the Los Angeles Dodgers, they are the best offense probably in baseball. They are in Coors Field. They are going against one of the weaker pitchers. So I will be cash game heavier today than I would be normally. Because even though I don't love them, they are the best option. The whole offense will be chalky as hell, especially the Gavin Luxes and the Turners and the Bellingers of the world.
If you had to pick another offense that was your favorite, who would it be?
Oh, jeez. That's exactly why I'm going to end up on LA. Because as things start today, I don't have anybody else I feel really good about. Maybe like a mini Tim Anderson, like Jose Abreu stack from the White Sox going up against a lefty. He's solid, but he's not a great pitcher or anything like that.
He was not good in the spring either. He had that one good start against Milwaukee, I think, but other than that, he was not very good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the White Sox have upside always. I'm with you, though. Like, it's very difficult on this slate.
Yeah, there's nothing I'm really, really excited about. So, again, I will probably ride the chalk Dodgers build with the chalk pitchers, try to make a couple of smaller decisions based on that, and just kind of roll with it that way because it's not a – I know you love to fade Coors Field when there's something else that you love. And if there's nothing you love today, it becomes a lot harder to want to try to fade the best offense in Coors Field.
I'm definitely thinking, how can I use Dodgers here and be different elsewhere?
Well, I think, pivoting to Meryl Kelly off Pablo Lopez, but it sounds like you like Lopez better. But that could be like a small difference right there.
Or like potentially using, maybe Lopez and Kelly. And not using Snell, really loading up on the Dodgers.
Sure. Snell's going to be the most popular pitcher on the slate, it seems like. And he could get hit. He's not impervious to being hit.
No, he's not impervious to being hit by any means. This slate is pretty like cut and dry from like a overview perspective and from like a breaking it down. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's going to be hard to talk about many of the other offenses, to be honest, because they're just not in good spots.
Right. If you're building a cash game, which is not our favorite way to play baseball, but sometimes it makes sense. You got a Max Muncy. Gavin Lux at 4,100 is going to be insane chalk today. You got Turner right there. You got Corey Seager, Betts and Bellinger and Pollock and all these guys. You're probably going to want to try to get 3, 4, 5 deep on the Dodgers if you can, which is not going to be easy to do. But maybe this is how, like in a tournament, you fade Snell and go with, like we'd mentioned, maybe like a Meryl Kelly, Cueto, Heaney, or something like that. And it gives you more room to get up to like a Betts, Bellinger, Muncy combo or something like that. But the Dodgers are going to be.
The Dodgers are going to be really popular, but maybe you just go even harder on the Dodgers, like in the example you just said. Like, don't prioritize the starting pitcher and like go even harder on their main guys.
I mean, you saw what happens like yesterday. I didn't go back and look. Like, how popular was Luis Castillo?
Like 20%, I think, somewhere around there.
Okay. When a relatively popular pitcher gets hit,
yeah,
and it could be a big detriment to the slate. I know that helped me get into the money yesterday.
For sure. It definitely can, no doubt. I mean, not that I expect that from Snell here.
No.
But
first start, new team, and everything like that, it's not impossible that he just doesn't locate well. You saw that with multiple starting pitchers yesterday. First start of the year, location was just off. That is not a new story. That happens every year.
For sure, no doubt about it.
So that's that. All right. So Dodgers and cash, and if you like them, you might just do it in GPPs as well. We've kind of talked through who some of the the chalkier pitchers are on this slate. Offense from this first game, it's not a great ballpark for offense, but Meadows homered yesterday. I'll probably use Lopez, so I won't be super heavy on the Tampa Bay Rays, but Meadows is a nice hitter, got off to a good start already. And then what's his face? How do you know how to pronounce his name? Yoshi
Tsutsugo.
Like Tsutsugo will get a little love because he's dirt cheap.
For sure. I do think that potentially stacking Tampa against a popular Lopez is a way to be different in tournaments. I like Lopez, but he's not a guy that's impervious to getting hit by any means.
Absolutely not. And Tampa has some decent players, Rosarina, whoever else is going to be in their lineup, Kiermaier, Marco Meadows, whatever it might be. It's probably not the optimal way that we want to go, but I can understand it. The same thing would go for me with some of these Miami guys. Like, they're a little bit of an underrated offense. Like, Starling Marte is, a decent fantasy player. Adam Duvall has big power. Jesus Aguilar, 3,300.
I agree. Like, it's definitely not the most optimal route, but let's say that you use Bauer and Snell and game stack this game, and all of a sudden this game just has some offense. You're probably having a real good night. Most of the time you're not winning anything, but that night you're having a real good night.
Agreed. All right. Any love for the Colorado offense? I'm going to assume that's a big hell no. Agreed. All right. Next up, we got the White Sox taking on Heaney. So I don't hate the idea of Luis Robert, Tim Anderson.
Damn.
Jose Abreu. They're expensive, but
they're real expensive. They're more expensive than the Dodgers.
Yes, which means nobody's going to use them, right?
Right. No, they will be underowned for sure. They're so hard to get to. I mean, even just not even thinking about the Dodgers, it's freaking hard to get to Abreu, Anderson, and Robert, with any pitching combo today.
Absolutely, it is. So it's going to be a very, very low owned stack with some upside. Jose Abreu is the MVP. He crushes lefties. Same thing goes to Tim Anderson, batting title winner, very good against left-handed pitching. We all know the upside of Luis Robert. That's going to be a low owned stack. It's intriguing. It's not going to be easy to do. I wouldn't sell my soul to get here or anything like that. But if I'm making a 3-entry max in GPPs and I can find a way to stack those three guys together, it should be very low owned.
Agreed. And I mean, they definitely have upside. All three of them have double home run upside.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, as far as the Angels go, Mike Trout's in play every single day. We know this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking to get there today, though.
No. Even though we don't want to use Dallas Keuchel, he doesn't really give up big runs. He just doesn't strike anybody out. So it's not a very desirable DFS play. So this can really just be kind of a cross-off spot for me.
The one guy I could see, I'm looking up his numbers against him right now, is Upton. He's 4 of 17. Nothing. I mean, I'm not using him because of that, but I think he's had a really good spring, and I know he had a base hit last night. Always a guy I never mind against lefties, or never a guy I mind against lefties. Didn't mean the double negative.
Yeah, he's 3,300, so you can one off him and hope for the home run.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't feel that much better about Jesus Aguilar. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Houston against Luzardo. They're also kind of pricey. I like the White Sox guys better for me.
Yeah, I wish there was a righty on the hill for Oakland because I would have liked Alvarez a lot. He had a big double in one of his last at-bats. They were good last night, Houston.
Yeah, they closed pretty hard. It was kind of a boring game early on, but they definitely played better as the game stretched out.
Watching them, I was thinking about you asked me, like, what do I expect from them this year? Like, watching them, I kind of expect a bounce back year for them. Like, they're still really talented.
Gotcha. How about Oakland tonight against Javier? Laureano had a nice big night. He's a guy with upside that I like his price tag still at 3,600. I'm not trying to stack against Javier, but I definitely don't mind Laureano at mid threes.
I agree with that. They were disappointing last night. You got, Lowry hitting 6th at 2,500. I think he's definitely in play as a filler piece for sure.
So for a lot of you guys probably forgot about Jed Lowry because didn't he just sit out the season last year or was he hurt?
He was like hurt. He's been hurt the past couple of years, I think. He signed a bigger deal with the Mets like 2 years ago. He only batted like 5 times for them, though.
Yeah. Damn, he's older than I realized. Like, I knew he was up there. He was a veteran, but I did not realize he was this old.
Props to him for, like, winning the job in Oakland because I'm pretty sure they brought him, like, on, like, a minor league deal because, like, he just didn't work out with the Mets. I mean, you see that.
Yeah, 12 plate appearances since 2018. When he was an all-star and 20th in the MVP voting. I know that was a long time ago. But as you mentioned, he was batting 6th in the order last night. Like, if you're trying to get up, like, yes, Gavin Lux is going to be insane chalk, but Gavin Lux is no guarantee to have a big night. You could save yourself some money right here, and this could allow you to get like a Mookie Betts as opposed to AJ Pollock.
For sure, and that's the other thing, too. You can still only roster 5 Dodgers, so you got to roster some other guys too anyways. You know what I mean? You have to roster 3 other guys no matter what.
And Lux might be the highest owned Dodger today because he's the only cheap guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So go down to a Lowry in the middle of the lineup. Now it's a little easier to get Muncy, Seager, Turner, Bellinger bets.
No doubt.
All right. Arizona bats against Blake Snell. No thanks. Ketel Marte was great yesterday.
They were all real good. Him and Cabrera, both homered. I'm not looking to get them here though at all.
No, I'm with you. But I guess I could understand a Ketel Marte play just because he started the season hot. He's still only 3,300. He's not going to be as chalky as he was yesterday at a real cheap price, but it's the kind of guy like he's good. I don't mind the one off of him.
No, I don't think Snell gets hit here, but you said already he's going to be the most popular pitcher on the slate. So all the Arizona hitters are going to be real low.
Yeah. Much love to Victor Caratini yesterday with the big day.
Yeah, he had a monster day. I see Tatis says big numbers off Kelly, 5 for 11 with 3 bombs.
Yeah, and Tatis is a guy who will get some love because he didn't get love on every single slate. But I think Seager will be chalkier than he is today.
Oh, I think the Padres are much lower owned than the Dodgers today, personally.
Tatis is the one guy, especially unless he gets off to a cold start, is going to be pretty high owned on most slates.
I also think, despite what you said about Senzatella, the Dodgers are in the much better spot than San Diego. Like, not even close on paper. Do you agree?
Agreed. Totally agreed. I don't hate like Tommy Pham, who wasn't great yesterday, or Jerickson Profar, who are both really inexpensive. I don't mind going back to Caratini in the slightest. He did me very well yesterday. You got Cronenworth down lower in the lineup. I won't spend the elite money on these guys, with the exception of maybe a Tatis in one. You're right. Like 3 home runs, 5 of 11 with 3 home runs. He clearly sees the ball pretty well off Kelly.
And he's good. The other guy that I know had a really good spring homer yesterday is Eric Hosmer. Yeah. We saw it last year when he started putting lift in his swing. I don't think that many people still think people just overlook him. And I don't know. Like I'll say this, if I'm stacking San Diego, I'm looking at Hosmer on any given day.
Yeah. You should get him at sub 5% today.
For sure. And he's expensive, but he's not Abreu expensive.
No, not at all. Like pivoting off Max Muncy to him might be like the one off that you need, and then you can get the other Dodgers in your lineup.
Exactly. And again, you can only roster 5 Dodgers, so you got to make a choice somewhere. This last game, I think, is like interesting because I think it could play out in a bunch of different ways.
Agreed. Well, both pitchers in this game.
Yeah.
You can see this being an offensive explosion. You can see it being a pitcher's duel. These are, San Francisco's not good, but they're better than I've given them credit for.
Their lineup has more juice than it has in the past couple of years, I think. Like they're not good, but they're not like dreadful anymore, I don't think. That could be wrong, but that's just my impression.
Scored 15 runs yesterday between the two of them. Seattle had a late rally. San Francisco kind of meandered into runs in almost every inning of the game.
Yeah, they hit a couple home runs, 3 home runs, I think. I mean,
4
home runs. So, yeah, this game, the problem is I don't know which I like better, the pitching or the hitting. Neither offense gets me excited. Neither pitcher gets me excited. It's only a 6-game slate, though, so it's not like these guys are out of play. I don't know.
Well, and they got a lefty on the mound again in Kikuchi for Seattle. You got a bunch of guys on the Giants. Yeah. Longoria, Flores, Posey, who have always hit left-handed pitching very, very well.
Slater leading off, homered off a lefty yesterday. He's going to be leading off again tonight. I was just going to say I kind of like this lineup against lefties. Didn't even forgot that Kikuchi was on the hill for Seattle.
And their best hitter took the over last night.
Yeah, he did. I could definitely see using some San Fran, like mixed with some Dodgers or not, whatever. I think they're, I also, like I mentioned, I think Kikuchi is in play, but after looking at it, only because like there's so few offenses I like on the slate, I think I'm more likely to get to see San Fran offense than Kikuchi.
I agree, especially like some of these. Just if you look at the price tag of these San Francisco guys, for example, Slater 3,500, Dickerson 3,400, Longo 3,700, Buster Posey 3,300. I don't mind. You can do like a bottom of the order, like mini San Fran stack to pair with the Dodgers.
Most definitely. How much is like Flores?
I'm gonna guess 3,800.
Yeah, that's really
37 is darn.
This is really cheap for this spot. The hitters all over this game are cheap. That's why they're in play. I mean, Evan White hit cleanup for Seattle yesterday. Like he's not great, but these guys work as filler pieces for sure.
I mean, just think about it this way. Let's see here. Could you do like Flores, Longo, Posey? You do like a bottom of the order type of stack right down here? And then could you complement that with, let's say you took the chalk pitchers. And if you want to go with Kelly or something like that down here, fine. But chalk pitchers, San Fran stack. Then we move over to the Dodgers. Get like a Muncy, Seager. Yeah, you're still going to have to find some more paydown options.
I think if you want to use like Bellinger and Betts and Muncy and Seager, you probably can't use Snell. I don't know. It's difficult. Well, because we also have you could put Jed Lowry at second base.
Sure. Good point. So there are ways to get there. It's going to be difficult to all-out stack the Dodgers. You're definitely going to have to jump off the chalky Snell.
I will say this. That kind of makes me intrigued by doing that in tournaments. Like by, kind of punting at pitcher and just selling my soul on the Dodgers. They're just by far the best offense today. I think that's worth thinking about.
And because Blake Snell comes from the Rays and he's never been allowed to throw more than 13 pitches in a game, it is possible he's not stretched out to go that deep.
It's just true. I mean, listen, it's still the first start of the year. Like, we like pitching more than hitting, I think, at the beginning of the year. But, like, the first couple starts, the pitchers are not going to go that deep.
No, they let Darvish go 90-some pitches yesterday, and his pitch count kind of ratcheted up there quick. I think he only went like 4 1/4. That doesn't mean that Snell will go as long today. Take that for what it's worth. I have no idea what their intentions are with him as far as a leash goes, but I don't know. I expect Snell to pitch well, but it's also certainly not impossible that he just doesn't locate well today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we see it all the time. We saw it a bunch yesterday.
So I don't know. I think we agree that we don't love anybody enough to completely abandon the Dodgers. They are the chalk build today, which, no surprise right there in Coors Field. And even though Sensatella isn't terrible, he's definitely one of the weaker pitchers on the slate right here. So Dodgers chalk. There's a couple ways that you can get kind of different. We've run through the chalk pitchers and everything like that. But for me, this is a day where I'll play more Coors than I want to because I still think it's the best spot.
Yeah, honestly, it's funny. It's how life works because it's the second day of baseball. I've been waiting for this forever. And, man, this slate sucks. I can't wait to talk NBA with you.
Well, it is funny how it works out. You don't like Coors Field slates, especially when good teams are in Coors Field. Because it's, the Dodgers are amazing, right? Like their offense is so good. They're in Coors. How do you not give them love? But you're going to be there with everybody else, and so you just never love baseball when you think the chalk makes too much sense.
Yeah, their options are so weak, also. So, yeah, man, I'm excited to get into this NBA members only with you for sure.
Man, the fact that we're talking up like Buster Posey and Evan Longoria versus Kikuchi could just tell you that the other spots are just very bleh.
Yeah, much more solid than spectacular, if you will.
No doubt about it, guys. All right, everybody. Best of luck today. Write-up will be out at the normal time for baseball. We'll have baseball and basketball today, and appreciate y'all time.
Thanks, guys.